If you're someone who always says, "I'll do it tomorrow," this story is for you. One moment can change your life forever, just like it changed his. Watch till the end. This story will stay in your heart. Once upon a time, in a small, broken neighborhood on the edge of a forgotten town, lived a boy named Arav, a boy who had mastered one habit better than anything else: delaying life. Whenever someone asked him to do something, homework, chores, errands, studying, his answer never changed. "I'll do it tomorrow," he'd say, stretching lazily on his old wooden bed, scrolling endlessly on his cracked phone. Tomorrow was his escape. Tomorrow was his shield. Tomorrow was his fantasy solution to every real-world problem he refused to face today. His mother, Mira, worked 2 exhausting shifts, cleaning homes during the day and washing dishes at a roadside stall at night. She returned home with swollen feet, trembling hands, and the kind of tired smile only a mother could hold after carrying mountains alone. Arav loved her, truly. But love without effort is a heavy burden, and he didn't realize he was placing that weight entirely on her fragile shoulders. Their house was small, one dim light bulb flickering above like it was too tired to shine, one torn curtain struggling to cover a cracked window, and one mother carrying the entire weight of survival. Arav noticed her struggles, the way she coughed at night when the dust from her long day irritated her chest, the way she sometimes sat silently holding the left side of her ribcage as if her heart itself needed rest. But instead of standing up, he convinced himself that, "She'll be fine. I'll start helping tomorrow." His books lay untouched on a dusty shelf, his clothes scattered like forgotten responsibilities. His mother often whispered, "Beta, at least study, at least try." But Arav always promised, "Tomorrow, Ma, I swear." She never scolded him. Maybe she was too tired, maybe too afraid of pushing him away, maybe too hopeful that he would change. For her, tomorrow meant enduring one more painful day. For him, tomorrow was a hiding place, and life always punishes those who hide too long. In school, Arav was known as the lazy but smart boy, the boy who had the brain to succeed but not the discipline to try. Teachers sighed deeply as they marked zeros on his incomplete work, shaking their heads with disappointment. His classmates laughed behind his back. "He'll never make it," they whispered. "He sleeps more than he studies. His life is going nowhere." Arav heard the comments, felt the sting, but instead of changing, he shrugged them off. "It's fine. I have plenty of time," he told himself.
He'll never succeed.
But time, the one thing he believed was unlimited, was silently slipping away. Time isn't free, especially for poor people. Poor people don't grow up with comfort or choices. They grow up with a ticking clock counting down on every dream they postpone. But Arav, blinded by youth and laziness, kept pushing the clock away. One rainy evening, thunder rolling across the sky like anger itself, his mother returned later than usual. Her sari was soaked, clinging to her thin frame, her steps unstable and shaky. Arav barely looked up from his phone when she entered, his screen glowing brighter than the dim room. She tried to call his name, her voice trembling. "Arav." But before she could finish, her legs gave way beneath her. The glass she was holding slipped from her hand, shattering onto the floor, and she collapsed beside it, unconscious. For a moment, Arav froze, his breath trapped in his throat as the world around him shattered along with the glass. Then panic struck him like lightning. "Ma! Ma!" he screamed, shaking her shoulders desperately, his voice cracking with fear. Neighbors rushed in, lifting her limp body, shouting for an auto rickshaw. Arav held her cold hands with trembling fingers, and for the first time in his life, he felt real, paralyzing fear. The hospital waiting area felt colder than winter itself. Arav paced back and forth, his clothes drenched, his shaking hands clutching each other tightly. Doctors rushed past, stretchers rolled down the hallway, machines beeped loudly. But he only heard one voice, his mother's voice, whispering, "It's okay, Beta," even when her world was falling apart. His heart hammered violently as he stared at the glowing emergency room sign. Tears streamed down his face, not soft tears, but loud, painful sobs that echoed through the corridor. He cried with the kind of guilt that crushes your chest, that drowns your breath, that makes your entire soul ache. "This is my fault," he whispered between sobs. "If I had helped, if I had worked, if I hadn't wasted time." In that cold hallway, surrounded by strangers and sorrow, Arav felt his world collapse piece by piece. Like this story and subscribe to English Story Academy for more emotional, life-changing English stories. The doctor finally emerged, exhaustion and concern written on his face. "Her body is tired," he said gently. "She hasn't rested in years. She needs care, support, proper nutrition, and less stress." Arav lowered his head, tears dripping onto his shirt, each drop slicing deeper into his guilt. His mother had been carrying a mountain, alone, while he wasted every day. When he entered her room, he saw her lying weakly, oxygen tubes attached, her fragile chest rising and falling, slowly like a fading rhythm. She forced a small smile when he approached. "Beta, don't cry. I'm okay." But those words broke him even more because he knew she wasn't okay. He held her hand tightly and whispered with trembling lips, "Ma, I'm so sorry. I won't say tomorrow again. I swear on you." That night, sitting beside her bed, Arav felt something he had never felt before. A fire burning inside him. No more excuses. No more laziness. No more pretending. No more tomorrow. His heart felt heavy, his eyes red and swollen, but his mind was clearer than ever. Determination, purpose, fear, love, all merging into one powerful force. When they returned home a week later, he didn't let the guilt fade. He cleaned the entire house before dawn, washed the dishes, cooked breakfast, organized his books, and created a strict study schedule. He whispered to himself, "I will start today. Every day, no matter what." And he did. But change is never easy, and the world never forgets who you used to be. When he returned to school with books in his hand and seriousness in his eyes, his classmates burst into laughter. "Look, lazy boy brought books. He'll quit in 2 days. He's pretending." Their cruel words stung like knives, but Arav stayed silent. He woke up at 5 a.m. daily, studied under street lights when electricity failed, completed every assignment, asked teachers for guidance, and worked harder than anyone around him. Some laughed, some doubted him, some mocked him, but he kept going. Every page he studied felt like wiping a tear from his mother's eyes. Every hour of hard work felt like an apology he could never say out loud. He failed many times. He cried many nights. He collapsed from exhaustion more than once. But he never stopped. His mother's collapse haunted him in every quiet moment. That memory pushed him harder than any motivational speech ever could. Slowly, painfully, his grades began to improve. Teachers who once dismissed him now nodded with approval. Students who mocked him secretly asked him for notes. People didn't understand his transformation, but pain understands pain, and pain had sculpted him into a new person. Years passed. Arav studied like his life depended on it, because it did. He balanced jobs, tutoring kids, delivering newspapers, cleaning shops, and studying through late nights. Sometimes he slept only 4 hours. Sometimes he skipped meals so his mother could eat. But he kept the promise he made in that hospital corridor. Eventually, he applied for scholarships everywhere he could. And finally, a letter arrived. He had earned admission into an engineering college, fully funded. When he left home with his small bag and large dreams, his mother held him tightly and cried, not from fear, but from pride. Engineering college was a battlefield. Rich students flaunted their clothes, gadgets, and coaching. Arav had none of that. He had only determination and an aching desire to make his mother proud. When classmates mocked his worn-out shoes, he studied harder. When they laughed at his accent, he practiced late at night. When teachers demanded impossible projects, he learned new skills until his eyes burned. On weekends, he worked at a cafe to pay for food and travel. People asked, why is he working so hard? No one knew he wasn't just studying for himself. He was studying for every broken tomorrow he wasted. One day, after years of sweat, tears, and sleepless nights, Arav stood on a grand stage, receiving the award for the Best Engineering Student of the Year. The audience applauded loudly, flashes from cameras lighting up the room. But Arav wasn't looking at the crowd. His eyes searched for one person, his mother. She sat in the front row wearing a simple sari, tears streaming down her face as she watched her son achieve what once felt impossible. She wasn't weak anymore. She wasn't tired. She was proud. That moment healed every wound in Arav's heart. He graduated with honors and received a high-paying job offer from a top engineering firm. His starting salary was more than what his mother had earned in 5 years of backbreaking work. The first thing he did was move her into a comfortable home. A home with soft lights, warm meals, clean walls, and peace. He bought her a bed that didn't hurt her back, clothes she never had the chance to wear, and medicine she could now afford. When he handed her the keys to the new house, he whispered in her ear, his voice trembling, "Thank you for never giving up on me." Years later, Arav became a respected engineer, admired not just for his intelligence but for his discipline, humility, and story. Schools invited him to speak to students. Companies invited him to conferences. Newspapers wrote about him. And every time someone asked, "What changed your life?" he always answered the same simple sentence, "The day I stopped saying I'll do it tomorrow." His words reached thousands of young hearts, teaching them the power of starting today, because he knew how dangerous a delayed life could be. Arav's story became a guiding light for many. But no matter how successful he became, he never forgot the night that changed everything. The rain, the collapse, the ambulance sirens, the hospital smell, the guilt, the tears. That night was his awakening, the moment life slapped him awake. Today, whenever he sees someone scrolling, wasting time, making excuses, he gently says, "Life doesn't wait, dreams don't wait, and your loved ones, they can't wait forever. Start now, because tomorrow is not guaranteed." 1. The future belongs to those who start today, not tomorrow. 2. Time respects those who respect it. Like, share, and subscribe to English Story Academy for more emotional, life-changing English stories.